Good afternoon from London. It's a bright sunny April afternoon here in London. I've just completed an 11-kilometre walk. And hello from me, Dr. Dermot Hudson, the chairman of the British Group for the Study of the Juche Idea, chairman of the UK-Korean Friendship Association, and official delegate of the Korean Friendship Association for the United Kingdom, and also president of the Association for the Study of Songun Politics of the UK. Today, 25th of April, is the 89th anniversary of the foundation of the Revolutionary Armed Forces of People's Korea, or Juche Korea. The Korean People's Army of today has its origins in the anti-Japanese People's Guerrilla Army, which later became the Korean People's Revolutionary Army. This was founded in April 1932. We Juche Idea and Songun Idea followers and true friends of People's Korea salute the anniversary of its foundation. Today, the Korean People's Army is defending the independence of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, and moreover also peace and security in the Asia-Pacific region. The anti-Japanese People's Guerrilla Army, which was to become the Korean People's Revolutionary Army in March 1934, was founded in Antu, Manchuria, on the 25th of April 1932. The reason it was founded in Manchuria was because many Korean people had been driven into exile by the sheer ferocity and oppression of Japanese imperialist colonial rule. And of course, President Kim Il-sung organised his revolutionary activities amongst Korean expatriates in Manchuria. In his speech at the meeting to found the anti-Japanese People's Guerrilla Army, he said, "The anti-Japanese People's Guerrilla Army is made up of the workers, peasants, and young patriots who oppose the Japanese imperialists and their stooges and love their country and people. It is a revolutionary armed force which will dedicate itself to protecting the interests of the people. The aim and mission of the People's Guerrilla Army is to overthrow the colonial rule of Japanese imperialism in Korea and bring national independence and social emancipation to Korean people." End of quotation. These words clearly defined the nature, mission, and the role of the anti-Japanese People's Guerrilla Army. And you can say basically today the Korean People's Army really continues with these aims, as it's defending the independence of the country and defending the interests of the Korean people. The anti-Japanese People's Guerrilla Army and Korean People's Revolutionary Army fought in the spirit of self-reliance. They established guerrilla bases, including the Mount Paktosan guerrilla base. They fought many battles against Japanese imperialist aggressors. For example, the notable Battle of Pochombo in June 1937. Korea was liberated from Japanese imperialist rule on the 15th of August 1945 after the Korean People's Revolutionary Army, together with Soviet troops, advanced into Korea. After President Kim Il-sung gave the order for the final operation for the liberation of Korea on the 9th of August 1945. After liberation, an independent munitions industry was built up, and I'm pleased to say that a delegation of the British Group for the Study of the Juche Idea actually visited the Pyeongchang revolutionary site in April 2016, and this is the place where the first munitions factory of People's Korea was set up. It was the place where they made the first Korean submachine gun, or Tommy gun, if you like, and President Kim Il Sung. You would have seen the famous pictures where he tests the first Tommy gun, and it was also at this place that I believe that Marshal Kim Jong-un said in December 2015 that they would go ahead with the test of a H-bomb. And anyway, on the 8th of February 1948, the Korean People's Revolutionary Army was transformed into a regular revolutionary armed force, standing armed force, the Korean People's Army. The Korean People's Army, under the wise leadership of Great Generalissimo Kim Il-sung, took over and carried forward the traditions of the anti-Japanese armed struggle. The Korean People's Army is based solidly on revolutionary comradeship and a strong tradition of army-people unity was created and flourishes today. And one should say here, that the Korean People's Army undertakes both national defence and socialist construction. Many of the great and impressive structures that you see in People's Korea have actually been built by the Korean People's Army. It is very different to the armed forces of the imperialist and capitalist countries. In fact, there's absolutely no comparison at all. Under the wise leadership of the great generalissimos Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il, the Korean People's Army grew into ranks of steel, with each soldier being a match for 100 enemy soldiers. The Korean People's Army inflicted a crushing defeat on the US imperialists in the Great Fatherland Liberation War of 1950 to 1953, and after that war ended, the Korean People's Army defeated the US in numerous confrontations, such as the Pueblo incident of 1968, the EC-121 spy plane incident of 1969, the Panmunjom incident of 1976, and the 1994 helicopter shoot-down incident. The Korean People's Army became a truly Juche-orientated revolutionary armed force and is the army of the party, the army of the people, of the working class, and of the leader. New theories of warfare have been created. Moreover, under the leadership of Great Generalissimo Kim Il-sung and Chairman Kim Jong-il and respected Marshal Kim Jong-un, Korean People's Army has stuck solidly to class and revolutionary principles. They have smashed the revisionist and opportunist non-class theories. The leadership of the party over the armed forces has been maintained and enhanced, unlike some former so-called socialist countries where the leadership of the party over the armed forces was denied, and of course it was in these countries that socialism collapsed or was frustrated. The Korean People's Army is truly an anti-imperialist, anti-revisionist army that defends socialism with the force of arms. The might of the Korean People's Army was further strengthened under the leadership of Supreme Commander Kim Jong-il who practiced Songun politics, giving priority to the KPA, regarding it as the central pillar of the revolution. The KPA, under the Songun revolutionary leadership of the great leader Comrade Kim Jong-il, grew stronger in terms of ideology and politics, and also in terms of weaponry. It is now equipped with the latest weaponry and has its own independent deterrent force. And also in the sort of period of the 90s and 2000s, when there were sort of intense periods of tension and confrontation with the US, the KPA, under the command of Comrade Kim Jong-il and under the command of respected Marshal Kim Jong-un, safeguarded the independence of People's Korea and thwarted the moves of the imperialists to stifle Korean-style Juche-based socialism by force. The Korean People's Army also inherited the proletarian internationalist traditions of the Korean People's Revolutionary Army. The Korean People's Revolutionary Army defended the Soviet Union, the first workers' and peasant state in the world, from attacks by the aggressive Japanese imperialists during the 1930s. They also defended the Mongolian People's Republic. After liberation in the 1940s, President Kim Il-sung sent some of the best troops and cadres of the Korean People's Revolutionary Army to fight with the Chinese People's Liberation Army in their war against the KMT reactionaries. The Korean People's Army also actively assisted Cuba, Vietnam, Egypt, Angola, Zimbabwe, and many other countries. In Vietnam, the KPA Air Force pilots fought alongside the Vietnamese people. KPA also sent tunnelling and engineering experts to Vietnam. In Egypt, the KPA Air Force fought in the 1973 Middle East War against the Israeli aggressors, scoring many victories. The glorious KPA, which inherits and continues the traditions of the Korean People's Revolutionary Army, is the guerrilla army of dear respected Marshal Kim Jong-un, ready to defend People's Korea against imperialist aggression. Today, the destiny of world socialism and peace depends on the rifles of the Korean People's Army, headed by respected Supreme Commander Marshal Kim Jong-un. The DPRK is on the front line of the struggle between socialism and imperialism. The Korean People's Army is today standing guard over the independence of the DPRK and people-centred socialism, the authentic socialism. And we are convinced of the final victory of the Korean People's Army, led by respected Marshal Kim Jong-un. Long live the Korean People's Revolutionary Army. Glory to the tradition and spirit of the Korean People's Revolutionary Army. Long live Juche, long live Songun, long live respected Marshal Kim Jong-un. So thank you for your attention and listening to this video. If you're not already a subscriber to the channel, please subscribe, and also to our affiliated channel, UK KFA. And please check out for our events. We've got another online Juche Idea study session on April the 30th, and we are planning a KFA UK AGM in June, which will be online. So please stay tuned, look out for our events, and have a great day and stay safe, and goodbye.